want you to know that for all the jokes and the occasional gripes, I cherish that work as well.
A gripe is a complaint of some type. So if I have a gripe, it means I have a complaint. Also, something that annoys me can be said to gripe at me or to cause me gripes. The original meaning of gripe comes from grip, which means that something is holding on to you fiercely. So if you have a complaint where you just don't feel very good about it and you want to express it, in this sense you're being gripped by your complaint. But at the same time, other people may not consider your complaint to be very important or to be worthy of ruining their day because of it. So if you're griping about how your stomach hurts, most other people aren't going to care very much. Or if you gripe about how much work you have to do and everyone else has to work hard too, again, it's more annoying than anything else. Okay, fine. Also included in the idea of a gripe is something that's not very significant relative to the level of complaint. I moved to Florida a few years ago, and I like the fact that it doesn't get cold very often, but I have one gripe, is that during the summer it gets very hot and very humid. In the summer it gets very hot, very humid, and it's not very comfortable at all. In addition, depending upon which way the wind blows, sometimes there's just a lot of bugs, and I don't like bugs. So those are my two gripes about Florida. The biggest gripe that most people have about health insurance is it's very, very expensive. A lot of people are paying well over $500 a month for individual insurance, or even over $1,000 a month for their family. And then they get a high deductible too. So even if they do get sick, it's still going to cost them a lot of money before they start getting reimbursed by the insurance companies.
And I want you to know that for all the jokes and the occasional gripes, I cherish that work as well. In fact, tonight I wanted to present all of you with a bipartisan congressional resolution that honors all those wonderful contributions that journalists have made to our country and the world. But unfortunately, I couldn't break the filibuster.
Filibuster in a modern sense refers generally to Congress when a person or a group of people keep talking on and on and on in order to prevent some bill or law from coming up to a vote. So the idea is that they're taking over Congress for their own personal reasons or for their party. They're trying to stop something from happening. The word filibuster originally came from the word filibustero, which refers to a pirate. And way back in the olden days, pirates might even take over a city, or so it became a pirate city. Or later, groups of people would act like pirates, and the intent was actually to take over entire countries. And this happened quite a number of times in South America, where gringos or Americans would hire private armies. They'd go down to South America and they'd take over a country. So these people were known as filibusteros. And as a result, the United States government had to take special action to prevent U.S. citizens from doing just that. They made laws against forming private armies, and they made other laws against taking over countries. So as a result, the word became associated with taking over Congress, as if these people were actually trying to take over the United States. almost like some mini coup on a temporary basis. What happens is that one party can continue to talk about something, and they don't actually have to physically do the filibuster. All they have to do is say, look, you want to spend the next 3 days having us talk about it, or you want to move on to the next item of business. What they're trying to do is they're trying to prevent the close of discussion on a particular bill. So that becomes a filibuster. It doesn't mean that they have to keep talking. Basically, what you have to do is close discussion on a bill in order to vote on the bill. If you cannot close discussion, then the bill is still open for discussion. The way Congress works is that Congress has to vote on a bill. So if one side can keep the bill open for discussion, then it's not possible to vote on whether to pass the bill or not. So in the modern sense of filibuster, the politicians do not necessarily have to talk for days and days and days. All they have to do is to prevent a certain number of Congress people from voting to vote on the bill. In recent years, there have not been very many examples of honest-to-God filibusters where someone actually took the floor and kept reading for days and days. There was a pretty famous movie, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, where he actually did engage in a filibuster in the movie, and he ended up reading the telephone book and reading from some novel or whatever it was for quite some time until he finally collapsed right there in the middle of Congress in a very dramatic way.
That's all for today. Tom Taylor is an ESL tutor. He teaches English in the United States and outside, all over the world using Skype. He can be reached at his website, which is
esl-fullsteamahead.com.
Click on this link and check out his website and email with questions. Thank you, Tom, and I'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.